Physics, Chapter 10, Light, Reflection and Refraction, Part 2, Refraction of Light. Light seems to travel along straight line paths in a transparent medium. What happens when light enters from one transparent medium to the another? We shall recall some of our day-to-day experience. Let us consider the case of apparent displacement of a pencil partially immersed in water. The light reaching you from a portion of the pencil inside the water seems to come from a different direction compared to the path above the water. This makes the pencil appear to be displaced at the interface. For similar reason, the letters appear to be raised when seen through a glass slab placed over it. This observation indicates that light does not travel in the same direction in all media. It appears that when traveling obliquely from one medium to the another, the direction of propagation of light in the second medium changes. This phenomena is known as refraction of light, or the bending of light is called refraction of light. To understand the phenomena of refraction of light, we'll study one activity, that is refraction through rectangular glass slab. You just note down all the points. You just refer this given both the diagrams and you can start note the points. The line tray has changed its direction at points O and O dash. Note that both the points O and O dash lie on the surfaces separating through transparent medium. First, draw a perpendicular N dash to AB at O and another perpendicular M dash to CD at O dash. The light ray at a point O has entered from rarer medium to a denser medium. Rarer medium to the denser medium, that is, it formed air to glass. Note that the light ray has bent towards the normal at O. The light ray has entered from glass to air, that is, from a denser medium to a rarer medium. The light here has bent away from the normal. When we compare the angle of incidence with the angle of reflection at both refracting surfaces A and B, here a ray EO is obliquely incident on surface AB, called incident ray. O dash is a reflected ray and O dash H is the emergent ray. The extent of bending of the ray of light at opposite parallel faces AB, that is air glass interface, and CD glass air interface of the rectangular glass slab is equal and opposite. This is why the ray emerges parallel to the incident ray, that is the light ray is shifted sidewards slightly. So refraction is due to the change in the speed of light as it enters from one transparent medium to the another. So this experiment shows that the refraction of light occurs according to certain laws. The following are the laws of refraction of light. The thing is, the first one is the incident ray, the refracted ray and the normal to the interface of two transparent media at the point of incident all lie in the same plane. The ratio of sine of angle to the sine of angle of refraction is constant for the light of given color and for the given pair of media. This law is known as Snell's law of refraction. If I is the angle of incident and R is the angle of refraction, then sine I divided by sine R equal to constant. This constant value is called refractive index. Next, refractive index. A ray of light that travels obliquely from one transparent medium into another will change its direction in the second medium. The extent of the change in direction that takes place in a given pair of medium by expressed in terms of the refractive index, that is constant. The refractive index can be linked in some other important physical quantity, that is relative speed of propagation of light in different media. That if in turns out of light propagates with the different speeds in different media. The light travels fastest in vacuum. In air, the speed of light is only marginally less compared to that in vacuum. It reduces considerably in glass or water. So this you can now the refractive index of the medium is given by n equal to speed of light in air divided by speed of light in the medium. The speed of light in air divided by speed of light in medium. The next one is spherical lenses. The next one is spherical lenses. Please note down all the points as we used terms in spherical mirror. Like that we have some terms in spherical lenses also. Listen to this point and note down all the terms. This is a transparent material bounded by two surfaces, of which one or both surfaces are spherical, forms a lens. This means that a lens bound by at least one spherical surface. In such lenses, the other surfaces would be plane. A lens may have two spherical surfaces bulging outwards. Such lens is called double convex lens, or simply called convex lens. It is thicker in the middle as compared to the edges. Convex lens is converges the light, so it is called converging lens. So it converges the light, so it is called converging lens. Similarly, a double concave lens is bounded by two spherical surfaces which is curved inwards, and it is thicker at the edges than in the middle. Such lens diverts the light rays, so it is called diverging lens, or it is called concave lens. A lens, either a convex lens or concave lens, has two spherical surfaces. Now we are going to see some terms in spherical lenses. These surfaces forms a part of a sphere. The center of these spheres are called center of curvature of the lens. The center of curvature of a lens is usually represented by letter C. Since there are center of curvature, we may represent it as C1 and C2. In a spherical mirror, we expressed as C. Here in spherical lenses, we expressed as C1 and C2. An imaginary line, straight line, passing through the center of curvature of a lens is called principal axis. The central point of lens in optical center, it is usually represented letter by O. In spherical lenses, we have optical center, which is denoted by letter O. A ray of light through optical center of a lens passes without suffering any deviation. The effective diameter of circular outline of a spherical lens is called aperture. The lenses whose aperture is much lesser than the radius of curvature and the two center of curvature are equidistant from the optical center O. The lenses are called thin lenses with small aperture. Next, the several rays of light parallel to the principal axis are falling on a convex lens. These rays are refraction from a lens converging to a point on the principal axis. This point on the principal axis is called principal focus of the lens. Next, several rays of a parallel to the principal axis falling on a concave lens. The rays after refraction from the lens are appearing diverge from a point on the principal axis. This point on the principal axis is called principal focus of concave lens. If you pass a parallel rays from the opposite surface of the lens, you get another principal focus on the opposite side. Letter capital F is usually used to represent a principal focus. The lens has two principal foci. They are represented by F1 and F2. The distance of principal focus from the optical center of lens is called focal length. The letter small f is used to represent the focal length. The distance between position of the lens and the position of the image of the sun gives the approximate focal length of the lens. Next, refraction by spherical lenses. Refraction by spherical lenses. The first point is a ray of light from the object which is parallel to the principal axis after refraction from convex lens passes through the principal focus on the other side of the lens. In case of concave lens, the ray appears to diverge from the principal focus located on the same side of the lens. Second point, a ray of light passing through a principal focus after refraction from convex lens will emerge parallel to the principal axis. A ray of light appearing to meet the principal focus of a concave lens after reflection will emerge parallel to the principal axis. The last point is a ray of light passing through the optical center of a lens will emerge without any deviation. Next, image formation by convex lens. Image formation by convex lens. Here, the position of the image, the first position of the image is at infinity. The position of the image formed at focus f2. The relative size of image is highly diminished on point size. The nature of the image is real and inverted. The second one, the beyond 2f, the position of the object is there, and position of the image formed between f2 and 2f2. The relative size of the image is diminished. Nature of the image is real and inverted. When the position of the object at 2f1, position of the image is at 2f2, and relative size of the image is same size. Nature of the image is real and inverted. When the position of object between f1 and 2f2, the position of image formed beyond 2f2 and the relative size of image is enlarged, and the nature of the image is real and inverted. And the fifth one is when the position of the object at focus f1, the position of the image is at infinity. The relative size of the image is infinitely large or highly enlarged, and the nature of the image is real and inverted. Last one, when the position of the object between focus f1 and optical center O on position of the image formed on the same side of the lens as the object, and the relative size of image is enlarged, nature of the image is virtual and erect. Next, images formed by concave lens. The first one, when the object position at infinity, the position of image formed at focus f1, the relative size of image is highly diminished point size, and the nature of the image is virtual and erect. The second one, when the position of the object is between infinity and optical center O, and the position of image is between focus f and optical center O, the relative size of image is diminished, and nature of the image is virtual and erect. Sign convention for spherical lenses. For lenses, we follow sign convention similar to the one of used for spherical mirror. We apply rules of distance except that all measurements are taken from the optical center of the lens. According to the convention, the focal length of convex lens is positive and that of concave lens is negative. Appropriate signs for the values of u, v, f, object height h and image height h dash. Next, lens formula for spherical lenses. As we have formula for spherical mirror, we also have a formula for spherical lenses. This formula gives the relationship between object distance u, image distance v and focal length f, and this formula can written as 1 by v minus 1 by u equal to 1 by f. This lens formula also valid in all situations for any spherical lens. Next, magnification produced by spherical lenses. The magnification produced by lens similar to that of spherical mirror, and it is defined as the ratio of height of the image and the height of the object. The magnification is represented by letter m if h is the height of the object and h dash is the height of the image, and m equal to h dash by h, and magnification m equal to v by u. Next, power of lens. The ability of lens to converge or diverge the light rays depends on its focal length. For example, a convex lens of a short focal length bends the light rays to the large angles by focusing them closer to the optical center. Similarly, concave lens of a very short focal length causes higher divergence than one with a longer focal length. The degree of convergence or divergence of light rays are achieved by a lens is expressed in the terms of power. The power of lens is defined as the reciprocal of its focal length. So it is represented by letter P, and the power P of lens of a focal length F is given by P equal to 1 by F. P equal to 1 by F. And the SI unit of power of lens is diopter. It is denoted by letter D. If F is expressed in meters, then power is expressed in diopters. 1 diopter of power of lens whose focal length is 1 meter. The power of convex lens is positive and the power of concave lens is negative.